Hey, hello everyone. The topic I've been given from my seminar is the character sketch of the characters from Hard Times written by Charles Dickens. So, I will be giving you a brief character sketch of Mrs. Sparsit, Rachel, and Mr. Sleary and Mr. Mac Child and Miss Pegler. These are the characters I will be discussing in brief. So let's start with Mrs. Sparsit. Mrs. Sparsit is Bounderby's middle-aged housekeeper, and Sparsit is a widow who is gifted with a classical physique and Roman face with the same expressions. She works for Mr. Bounderby and is rather important for maintaining comfort at home, and her main responsibility is to manage the work of servants and to plan their schedule in a comfortable way. That's it. And she was she goes to live at the bank apartment when Bounderby marries Louisa, once a member of the aristocratic elite, and Mrs. Parsit fell on hard times after the collapse of her marriage, and she was jealous of Louisa. And the play represents Mrs. Parsit is a selfish, manipulative, and dishonest woman in this play. And the next character is Rachel. Rachel is a factory worker who was childhood friends with Stephen's wife, and she is now in love with Stephen. And the character Rachel is symbolifies a simple, honest hand and who loves Stephen Blackpool. To Stephen, she represents domestic happiness and moral purity, and she is now in love with Stephen and helps him deal with life as a friend. And after Stephen's death, she spends the rest of her life taking care of his widow. And the she represents a domestic happiness and moral purity. And the next character is Mr. Sleary. Mr. Sleary is the lisping proprietor of the circus, where Sissy's father was an entertainer. Later, Mr. Sleary hides Tom Gradgrind and helps him flee the country. Mr. Sleary and his troupe of entertainers value to laughter and fantasy, and whereas Mr. Gradgrind values rationality and fact. That's it. Okay. Then the other character is Mr. Mac Child and the unpleasant teacher at Gradgrind School. Mr. Mac Child, a teacher in Gradgrind's model school, is an advocate of the Gradgrind system. Dickens says that he might have been a better teacher had he known less. Slackbridge symbolized as the face forfeit to the laboring class is the trade union agitator, and he represents the unpleasant teacher at the school. And as his name suggests, Meg Chokamjal is not overly fond of children and satisfies or chacos their imaginations and feelings. Then the next last character is Mrs. Pegler, is the little old woman who comes to town once a year to gaze at Bounderby. Bounderby's mother. She is revealed to be his mom, whom he plays to stay away, because he tells everyone who will listen that he grew up practically and often in the street. That's why Mrs. Pegler makes an annual visit to Cocktown in order to admire her son's prosperity from a safe distance. And then because Bounderby tells everyone who will listen that he grows up practically and often in the streets. And she is Bounderby's mother, and by known as such too. All expect her self and Bounderby. That's it. Thank you.